Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am very fortunate that I have been given the privilege to speak before you in such an august occasion. I don't like to make a lengthy speech, and lengthy speech is always boring. My first point is, I do not find myself comfortable to speak in English, a foreign language. I could do much better and make a much more appealing speech in my own mother tongue. While I became a teacher at the 𝐋𝐚𝐮𝐬𝐻 University, and I confide to you, it is because Professor Yunus take a lot of interest in me and made it sure that I become a teacher at the Department of Economics at 𝐋𝐚𝐮 University. While I started my first teaching class at the honors level, I started my teaching in English because in our days, from the intermediate level right up to the master's level, the medium of instruction was English. After 1 or 2 days, a brilliant student of the class who was schooled in the Cadet College, Fazlurhat, came to me and told me that I should rather give my lecture in Bangla because most of his friends do not understand my language. That is the problem. And then I started giving my lecture in Bangla. And for long 40 years, I have been teaching in the medium of Bangla. And this had been an unlearning process for me. I have unlearned speaking fluently in English. I could have done better if I would have been given the chance to teach in English language at the university level. Next, my point is the quality of education depends on the quality of teacher. I think the teacher is the crucial input in the education system. That the quality of education in this country has gone down the drain because we do not have real good teachers. I can remember at the primary level, while I was a primary school teacher, I was a student, we had only 3 teachers for 5 classes, and the head teacher was a matric GT, and the second teacher was a non-matric GT, and the third teacher, he was just a non-matric. And I got admission to the class 2, and I took the preparation that I can directly get the admission for class 2. And I saw the teacher of class 2 who was a non-matric. He had been handling classes 1 and 2 together, and the partition between class 1 and 2 was removed. And we started having English classes from class 4. I remember that I had to read and my classmates had to read a book English book, which was named A Way to English Primer. And the author of the book was one Mrs. Mariam Hashim. And it was a very interesting book. And in those days, it was printed in colors with pictures, etc. And we started learning English also under the guidance of those teachers. And I feel proud that I was a student of those teachers who are not as qualified, I mean in terms of degrees, etc. of the teachers of today, but I have learned much from them. At my secondary level, I can give one example. I have too many examples to give. At 𝐋𝐚𝐮𝐧𝐜𝐡𝐢𝐧𝐿 school, I had a history teacher, and our history syllabus covered the whole history of the Indian subcontinent and the history of Islam. And we had to start the Indian history with Indus Valley civilization. And our teacher, Captain Abdul Rahman, who was an honors degree holder from the Presidency College, he advised us to go through the book written by Sir Mortimer Wheeler, who was the excavator at Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. He also advised us to read the book by Rakhaldas Bandyopadhyay, who was also involved in the excavation of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. And lastly, he advised us to read the book by Jawaharlal Nehru. We are just students of class 9, and the book was Discovery of India. The first chapter was on Indus Valley civilization. So this was the quality of teachers in my primary days and in my secondary days. And even at the college level, I got excellent teachers. I can name them, but I think that will take too much of time. Now I come to the main point, this empowerment of the youth. I think this term empowerment a bit paternalistic. Who empowers and who gets empowered? I think we must create an environment, we must create facilities, we must create opportunities that will automatically make the youth empowered. Instead of talking about empowering, we should talk about an environment where the youth gets empowered. Number 2, I have some concern about technology. Technology is good, and the advancement of the human civilization has been possible because of technological advancement, because of invention of fire, because of invention of wheel, because of invention of steam power, because of the invention of atomic power, etc. And now we have digital technology, we have artificial intelligence. But my concern is about the future of work. You have spoken about employment of the youth. That's very important. But the question is, will the youth of the future be employed? When everything is automated, everything is digitalized, everything is done by the artificial intelligence, then the question is, what is the future of work? I think if we can build a world where there is a pursuit for collective good, where there is a pursuit for shared prosperity, only in that world, only in that kind of society, we can expect to have a youth who will then be engaged without much of physical labor, will be engaged in activities like research, activities like development of art and culture, activities like, say, having good time. And because of technological progress, there will be a society of abundance. There will be no scarcity, so there will be no conflict. I think that kind of society we can dream of. And lastly, I have a concern about the youth of our rural areas, of our distant villages, the sons and daughters of the peasants. In Bangladesh today, if we look at the rural scene, we can see that peasants, the traditional peasants, they do not exist anymore. But still there are rural people, there are poor people. We must think, how can we ensure education, how can we ensure good health for these rural youths? And we must have a sort of perception where the importance of class issues are there. And while talking about empowerment, we must talk about empowerment of the poor youth, empowerment of the exploited youth. And I think if we can enlarge our horizon of thinking, we shall be able to achieve a world where the youth will be able to build a good future for all of us and good future for the world and a happy, a prosperous and peaceful world. Thank you all.